Hello everybody, welcome back to the sessions on power electronics by Ramana. This is the 32nd session in this series in which we are going to discuss the topic of estimation of UPS and battery ratings. In the last session, we were introduced to the concepts of battery backup, what is a UPS, classification of UPS, and the working of offline and online UPS elaboratedly by using the block diagrams, and also we discussed the operation features of both offline and online UPS, their advantages and disadvantages. And now we will extend our discussion to how to select a UPS and a proper battery to meet our load requirements. So these were the things which we have discussed in the previous session: concept, applications, features, working, advantages and disadvantages. And these are the objectives of this particular session. First, we will review and compare offline and online UPS just briefly, and then switch over to the actual topic of this session, that is the selection of UPS, different UPS, their applications, different batteries used for different purposes, specification of UPS batteries, estimation of the UPS rating, estimation of the battery rating for given loads and backups. So just have a look over what we have discussed in the previous session regarding advantages, disadvantages and applications of offline UPS. Basically, advantages of offline UPS as are high efficiency since charger is not continuously on, that is there are diverted paths, that is charging circuit and battery will be delivering to the load only when the mains are off. So efficiency will be less, efficiency of the charge controller will also be, efficiency will be more in case of rectifier and also the charge controller efficiency. And obviously it requires less power handling by the charger, cheaper than other types of UPS, simplest of construction and design, internal control and design are simple. But however, certain disadvantages are there. Supply voltage disturbances will appear in the output as they are. That is, during all the times when supply mains is on, it will be straight away given to the load via the static switch. There will not be any change in the supply voltage. So whatever disturbance which may occur in the supply voltage, it will be straight away carried to the load. It will be appearing in the load also. And finite transfer or changeover time from mains to inverter. That is, whenever mains fails, there should be a switchover of the circuit from the mains to the battery and inverter, which is done by changing the input to the load from static switch 1 to static switch 2, which takes a finite time, and we know that it is quarter cycle, less than or equal to quarter cycle or 5 milliseconds. And output is not perfectly reliable, that is wave shaping is not proper. And applications, again the critical loads which are not uh, very critical in the sense when compared to the other things which are run by online UPS, computers, printers, scanners, emergency power supplies, EPA, VIX, telephonic things, uh, where it will not be a very big problem if some changeover or 5 milliseconds of delay will be there due to the changeover and all those things. Comes to online UPS, this is the most important thing. First point, that is, it provides isolation between main supply and load. Main supply is not straight away given to the load, whether load is running on the inverter or the battery or the main supply, load will be getting its input from the inverter only. So proper wave shaping will be done. Disturbances in the main supply will not be impressed inside the load as it is electrically isolated. Load will be getting its main supply when and only when the total inverter charge control circuit fails. The load voltage waveform is free from any distortions, no disturbance in the supply is carried to the output. Obviously, voltage regulation is better. No changeover is needed at all, or transfer time is practically zero. That is, whether load is getting, whether the supply mains is on or battery off, whether battery is supplying to the load or whether main supply is given to the load. In both the cases, load will be getting its input from the control unit only. That is, there is no need of changeover at all. Disadvantage of online UPS is overall efficiency of UPS is low as inverter is always on. Though single phase AC supply is there, we will be always supplying by converting or rectifying the AC into DC. That DC is again inverted back via the inverter, wave shaping is done and given to the load. So obviously overall efficiency will be less. A bridge rectifier with high rating is needed. Always the rating of the bridge rectifier, which is always in the circuit, obviously the needed rating is high. Obviously it is costlier to the other types. Applications are, when compared to the previous things, induction motor drives and other similar motor controls which need continuous power supply without any flickering or delay times or changeover times. Intensive care units and medical equipments, etc., in which even smallest of the tripping time or changeover time will cause problems. So for that purpose, online UPS would be a better option. Just have a look to compare between online and offline UPS. Parameter online UPS and offline UPS. When it comes to the inverter, in case of online UPS, it is always on. Load will be getting its supply from the inverter only. Here it is. Obviously, it will be turned on when only main fails. Rectifier cum charger unit or charge control unit. It supplies power to inverter as well as the battery in case of online UPS. Charges only battery. In case of offline, this rectifier cum charger will be charging only the battery. But in this case, it is supplying power to the inverter as well as the battery. That is why the rating of the rectifier unit is more. Output waveform, sine wave, this is quasi square wave or square wave. Harmonic distortions are very low when compared to offline UPS. Efficiency, it is low in this case, whereas it is more over here, because in this case, that is in online UPS, inverter is always on, so inverter efficiency comes into picture. Because of that, the overall efficiency will be less for an online UPS when compared to offline UPS. Load is isolated from the supply in case of online UPS, which is a very great advantage. In case of offline UPS, it is not provided. Cost is high for the case of online UPS, but offline UPS, it is comparatively low when compared to online UPS. So that was the comparison between online and offline UPS. Now our prime concern is to choose between the UPS we want to procure or install or use to run our load. If our the load which we are going to run is the most critical one, like ICU and medical equipment, which were discussed for online, obviously online UPS should be given preference. That is the first choice. Next, if there are not very critical like normal computers and printers like scanners, then offline UPS will be a better option. because of cost also. So once you choose whether it is offline or online, again it comes two choices will remain. That is the ratings. The ratings of that UPS, that is voltage and current ratings, or you can simply in general call it as the normal volt ampere or VA ratings or kVA ratings. Normally UPS or in general we will be finding for a normal desktop computer from 350 VA, or that is point 3 3 point okay 350 VA or 650 VA, 800 VA, 1.1 VA, 1.1 kVA, 1.5 kVA, 1.2 kVA, 2 kVA, likewise. That is, as it acts like a supply source like any other transformer or generator. Its output capacity is always expressed in kVA rating only, because the wattage or the power consumed depends on the load power factor. When power factor comes into existence, then only wattage will come into the picture. So you will be expressing the rating of both UPS and battery with kVA rating, proper kVA rating. A storage battery is a very important part of inverter system and UPS. That is a must and should actually. That is the actual backup which will be given by the UPS when main supply is not there. Uh, for low and short backup periods, low and short backup means low ratings and short backup periods. Sealed maintenance free batteries are used, which are also called as SMF. SMF batteries are used. Sealed and maintenance free batteries are used. Whereas for medium power UPS, a battery with a capacity of around 7 ampere hours is sufficient to provide a backup for about half an hour. So, but whatever, while selecting a battery for a UPS, two points are the main constraints. You have two main constraints, that is the requisite rating which depends on the load, and also the backup period required. Okay, the backup period required to run that particular load when supply is not there. And the types of batteries, their constructions, you have learnt it in the other subject, DC machines and battery, in the other semester. So, whereas you have primary batteries, secondary batteries, in that again lead acid batteries, lithium ion batteries, and many more. But when it comes to commercial applications, the normal lead acid batteries still hold their presence for their easy maintenance and longer life. That is conveniently longer life and also cost. These sealed maintenance free batteries are one of those batteries which don't need any maintenance. That is, they are free of liquid types of electrolytes and they are sealed permanently. Their life will be more when compared to the wet type of batteries, which we will be just seeing in a moment. And this, when it comes to this capacity of a battery, 7 ampere hour, 7 Ah, or you are already introduced to these capacities of any battery which are expressed in ampere hours or watt hours also. Ampere hours efficiency, watt hour efficiencies. Ampere hour, it suggests that this particular battery can in a fully charged condition, this particular battery can deliver 7 amperes of load current for 1 hour. It is the meaning of ampere hour. If the same is called as some 100 ampere hour, then it means that battery under fully charged condition can deliver 100 watts of power for 1 hour. Likewise, we will be seeing some examples for those things. So these things, whatever types of batteries which are mentioned over here, SMF, that is sealed, maintenance free, and wet type of batteries, all those things, they are one type of category. The main type of category which are commercially used and available in the market and they are expressed by the manufacturers like these. The types of UPS batteries are divided into mainly three types, that is valve type regulated lead acid batteries only, first types. They are VRLA. Again, in the lead acid batteries, the second ones are flooded cell or VLA batteries. These two are nothing but the lead acid cells we know we are talking about, and these flooded cell batteries are the most extensively used one all over the world, which we normally come across in our day-to-day life. The third one are the lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion batteries. So basically, the classification or types are basically lead acid batteries are the first type, lithium-ion batteries are the second type. Again, in lead acid batteries, there are two types: valve regulated lead acid types, which are totally closed and sealed. These are your sealed. Just now, whatever we have discussed in the previous slide, that is sealed maintenance free SMF batteries. These are the SMF batteries, and also lithium ion batteries are also sealed maintenance free batteries. The difference between VRLA and VLA lead batteries is these lead batteries are, are not regulated. They will be having open type vents which are shown over here, which are visible when we uh, look towards batteries available in our offices and homes where inverters are used. Why it is called flooded cell means the electrolytes will be sufficient, liquid electrolyte will be used so that all the plates are immersed inside the electrolyte. These these batteries need regular checkup regarding the output terminal voltage and the gravity, that is specific gravity of the electrolyte, and from time to time, depending on the usage, at least in 3 to 4 months, you have to refill the required quantity. You have to re-establish the required specific gravity of the electrolyte by adding not the electrolyte but distilled water. That is the maintenance we require for flooded cell or VLA batteries. You have to continuously maintain it by pouring or adding requisite amount of distilled water from time to time. Lithium-ion batteries are now the most extensively used one for lesser ratings, particularly for our mobile phones and other electronic gadgets where charging is required or which are run by batteries, lithium-ion batteries. After the invention of the lithium-ion batteries, uh, the technology of batteries again it is on rapid rise. The weight has been decreased and maintenance problems are also decreased. But when compared for households and even for commercial applications, flooded cell batteries, owing to their affordable cost, are better choices for UPS. For lower ratings and shorter backup periods, SMF are used. For higher ratings and large backup periods, lead acid batteries are used, which can be either parallel plate type or tubular type. Again, we can witness this parallel plate type or tubular type lead acid batteries when we use our inverters. Tubular type, just by seeing from outside, it will be having more height. The height of tubular types batteries will be more. Just by seeing that, we can decide. Parallel plate type, when compared to the other tubular type, the height of these parallel plate type lead acid batteries will be around 60 to 70% of the height of these tubular plate types. These will look like a uh, flat rectangular cubes. SMF batteries sealed, maintenance free, are costlier than lead acid batteries but have longer life of about 4 to 6 years. But again, for the comparison, where for the same load ratings and backup times and usage, SMF batteries, if they have 4 years of life, lead acid batteries, that is flooded lead acid batteries, will be having the life at least around 2 to 2.5 years or 30 months. These are some important specifications of batteries which we have to know and consider for all the purposes. EMF, that is battery terminal voltage, and a battery is nothing but the series connection of number of cells placed and connected to common positive and negative points inside the battery. So these are the output terminal voltage available from batteries, 6 volts, 12 volts or 12 volts. They are in the commercially available market. The voltage ratings are like this. Mostly we'll be witnessing these 12 volt batteries in our applications. 6 volts and 12 volts, 6 volts are available for automobile applications also. Terminal voltage, the max or the proper full load terminal voltage what we expect is 2 volts, but in general it is specified as 1.8 volts minimum voltage for a single cell inside a given battery. So for 6 volts at least 3 cells have to be there, for 12 volts at least 6 cells have to be there. So with the same minimum thing, in case of a 6 volt battery, the output terminal voltage should be at least 5.4 volts. So when we use the 6 volt battery for load for supplying to a given load under supply failure conditions, if the voltage terminal voltage is less than the 5.4 volts, it should not deliver, or if the voltage decreases to 5.4 volts, the inverter should be shut down or UPS should be shut down. Internal resistance should be of the order of 0.01 ohms, that is 10 milliohms. If it is more voltage will be occurring in the battery itself, its internal resistance, so operation will not be proper. Capacity of the battery, it is the quantity of the electricity. It is the quantity of the electricity or electrical energy the cell can deliver. The cell can deliver during a single discharge till its terminal voltage falls to 1.8 volts. That is, consider a cell of 2 volts at its fully charged condition and it started to discharge to a load, proper load. Then in a single discharge, how much of quantity of electricity it can deliver by the time the terminal voltage falls to 1.8 volts. That is the capacity of the battery. And the other terms are ampere hour efficiency. Typical value is 90%. Watt hour efficiency will be less when compared to ampere hour efficiency, 75%. Selection of battery and its capacity. The runtime of a battery operated UPS depends on the type and size of the batteries. The type and size of the batteries, that is valve regulated, flooded type, all those things. Size means it is not the bulk or volume, it is the capacity. Rate of discharge means the discharge rate, that is the supply of current at which the current is discharged from the battery to the load. That is, if the load is more, how much of that is, if the same battery is delivering 1 ampere at a given moment to the load and 2 amperes at a given moment to the load, the rate of discharge will be more in the second case where load is more. So if the load is more, that battery should withstand that high rate of change in current or rate of discharge, and the efficiency of the inverter. So the efficiency of the inverter also comes into picture when selecting the battery. The battery is selected based on, these are the things, based on rating and nature of the load. We have to calculate the total rating in terms of volt amperes or wattage, and also nature, reactive, resistive, capital investment, how much you can afford, that is UPS online, offline, with proper batteries, all those things for a particular uh, for a household. If you consider a 1 kVA UPS, it will be along with the battery, it will be costing around 20 to 22,000. So depending on your pocket also, you have to select required backup period, whether you want the backup for simple 10 to 20 minutes or 1 hour, 2 hour, like that. Efficiency of the inverter. So on all these things, the selection of battery and its capacity should be calculated. So these are some examples. Before we go to select the battery, just try to understand with these examples selection of battery and its capacity. The first example is to run a 250 watt 230 volt lamp, or it's not a single phase supply lamp, a lamp or incandescent bulb of 250 watt power lamp by an inverter for 5 hours. You want to run this 250 watt lamp for 5 hours when supply is not there by using your battery. So for that purpose, you have to calculate the ampere hour efficiency or ampere hours which have to be supplied by the battery at the required terminal voltage. Again, the battery terminal voltage, first we have to choose whether we want to use 6 volt, 12 volt, or 24 volts. Like in general, consider 12 volts. So you want to deliver this load at 12 volts. So it can be calculated as watt hours, total watt hours, that is the power which has to be supplied to the lamp, which has to be supplied by the lamp by the voltage. 12 is your voltage. Watt hour is nothing but your watt is V into I, or your VA rating, V into A. This is VA hour by V. So the resultant will be ampere hour, or you will be getting AH capacity normally, which is mentioned as AH of the battery. So it is watt hours are 250 watts into 5 hours you want to run it. So it is 1250 divided by voltage is 12. So 104.16 ampere hour capacity batteries you have to select. You have to select a battery with such capacity. But in the market, it will be having a round figure 80, 100, 120. So nearest is 120 ampere hours battery you have to select. The other case is a 100 Ah battery will provide. Just try to understand how it discharges, how it can be utilized. A 100 Ah battery means this battery will provide, or it can run a load of 1 ampere, or it can supply a current 1 ampere to a load at a voltage of 12 volts, that is 12 watts. So this 100 ampere hour battery can provide 12 watt of power for 100 hours. Or you can also say that it can simply deliver 1 ampere of load for 100 hours. The same thing, you can also say that instead of 12 watt for 100 hours, it can also deliver 100 amps for 100 amp into 12 volt, that is 1200 watt for 1 hour. 1200 watt for 1 hour. These two, 12 watt and 1200 watt, this is mentioned according to watt hour efficiency or watt hour capacity. Whereas you can also say that 1 ampere of current can be delivered for 100 hours, or 100 amperes can be delivered for only 1 hour, that is your ampere hour capacity. A 12 volt 150 Ah battery can deliver how much power? That is simply 150 into 12, 1800 watt hours. So it can deliver 1800 watts for 1 hour or 18 watts for 100 hours. Likewise, a 1.2 watt LED. Just consider a simple LED light of power rating 1.2 watts only, fed by a 12 volt 10 Ah battery. So this lamp is connected to a 10 Ah battery with terminal voltage 12 watt. It draws a current of, that lamp draws a current of, that is 1.2 watt by 12 volt. This is VA cos phi. LED means resistive, so no, cos phi is 1. So 1.2 by 12, it is 0.1 amperes. 0.1 ampere, which will last for 100 hours. So if you continuously run this light, totally put together, if it intermittently on and off, it can be run by this battery separately for 100 hours. With the same battery, a 60 watt fan fed by the same battery draws 60 by 12 or 5 amps. So it can be run for only 2 hours. So that is the case with your batteries and battery capacities, and how they will last depending on the currents drawn from them, and also the backup time. But we will go back to this case where this 1800 watts for 1 hour, 18 watts for 100 hour, 12 watts for 100 hours, 1200 watts for 1 hour. For calculation purposes, these examples are okay, but this battery may not be in a condition to withstand this high rate of discharge. This 100 ampere hours, it can deliver okay, but some cases might be there where the batteries may not be withstanding those rates of discharge, the rate of discharge. So we have to keep that thing also in mind. So that is how they are selected. Just now we will go through a mathematical equation to select the battery and its capacity. Required capacity of the battery for a UPS. So this is battery capacity. UPS is calculated as the given equation, C is equal to P into T divided by V efficiency K, where C is the capacity of the battery in ampere hours, which we are going to find out. P is the load in power. So load power you have to calculate. T equal to backup time in hours, the backup time you want. V is the battery pack rated voltage in V, rated voltage of the battery pack. Why it is mentioned as battery pack means, when you take a single battery, it is a pack of number of cells inside it. You may know that cell rated voltage or battery rated voltage, one thing, and depending on the capacity and the load you want to be supplied, number of batteries can be connected in series or parallel to increase the ratings. If a 12 volt, if two 12 volt batteries are connected in series and the output is given to the load, then obviously the terminal voltage rating of the battery pack will be 24 volts. Current rating will be the same for both. But on contrary, go back to the same basics of the series and parallel circuits. If the same batteries are connected in parallel, the terminal voltage will be 12 volts only, but the current capacity will increase. So you have to keep that in mind. Next, inverter efficiency. K is battery discharge coefficient, which is normally less than 1, equal to or less than 1, depending on different uh, battery ratings required, depends on the particular manufacturer also. These are the input taken from one of those manufacturers. So from this, if you can calculate for a load of 8 kilowatt, this is a very high load. You are going to find out a battery with higher capacity. 8 kilowatt to have 1 hour backup time. The required battery capacity is, just go on substituting those values. 8000, 8 kilowatt, T is 1 hour. V, see, V is battery pack. Here 12 into 16. 16 batteries are used in series to increase the voltage. That is 192 volts. So just think that this load is of the rating 200 volts into 0.92, that is 92% is the efficiency of the inverter, 0.6 for a particular capacity. So it will come around to be 75.5 ampere hours. So you have to select 100 ampere hour battery to guarantee for a backup time of more than 1 hour. You can also select 80 ampere hours, but here it is very close to that. It will be better to select next higher capacity 100 Ah battery for 1 hour. But again, this is an extreme example. This 100 ampere hour battery, 100 Ah battery may not be in a condition to withstand the high rate of discharge when it delivers to a 8 kilowatt of load. So this is one of the example and how the calculations are made to select the capacity of the battery, and depending on that again, you have to estimate the capacity of the UPS also according to the backup time. For that purpose, the procedures laid down are these two are similar, which are similar to what you have calculated in basic electrical engineering, where you will calculate the total load in a given household, monthly meter rent. Likewise, that is, calculate the load of a particular lighting equipment, power equipment, fridge equipment, fans, and then motors and other things. Then add the total to find out the total power required, load power, and meter rate. Likewise, for finding out these things also, you have to find out the total load, the total power which will be consumed by the load. Accordingly, you have to go on calculating them in volt amperes or VA. Likewise, so for UPS, this is a procedure to find out the required rating of UPS for a given purpose. List all the equipment to be protected by the UPS: lights, fans, motors, fridges, TVs, computers. Likewise, we will be just going through an example, live example in one of the online sites. Calculate the V of every device, that is, for all the lights, calculate the total consumption. For all the fans, calculate the total consumption. Likewise, calculate VA into quantity of equipment. Next, add these totals together. Multiply the total by 1.2 to get the grand total. What for purpose? That is for the efficiency. 1 by 0.8 around, or 1 by 0.9. 80 to 90%, assuming that. So you can have a rough estimate of what it would be the volt ampere rating required by the UPS. To determine the suitable UPS capacity manually or by simple calculation, simply calculate the required the total load current, and how many hours of backup you want, depending on the backup time we are discussing. Calculate the battery power of the UPS, depending on that watt hour. Backup time, that can also be calculated. Inverter efficiency, or from this you can calculate whatever you want. So these are the procedures how to estimate the capacity and backup times of the required UPS and batteries. Yes, we will go through uh, interesting and better exhibit for calculating the requirements of the battery and UPS ratings. This is a commercial private site. Not only this site, Luminous, or many battery sites will be offering such online calculator to calculate your UPS requirements, the ratings of your UPS. Define your load requirement, define your load backup requirement, and calculate. Load requirements is, you will be adding all the load powers, how much of backup you want, then calculate the ratings you want. All the loads are shown over here. Ceiling fan of 75 watts. Just think that you will be running at least 2 ceiling fans. Laptops, just think that one laptop you have, one desktop computer you have. Okay, increase. So 3 ceiling fans, it is 225 watts totally. 2 laptops, 300 watts total. Tube lights, think that you will be running at least 4 tube lights, 40 watts, so 160 watts. LED bulbs of 9 watts to just in that incandescent lamp also you want you will be running 160 watt lamp, so this lighting load is 238 watts. Juicer, mixer, grinder for a household, just in that you have one refrigerator up to 200 L, one 300 watt, washing machine 1000 2200 watts one. So totally put together this load may be 4300 watts, 4300 watts. And there are some more things which you can add. This television, LED up to 40 different things are television, LED 160 watt, set top box 150 watts, music system 300 watts, and AC we will not be running that one. Motors, okay, pump sets or motors we will be having zero point 0.5 HP or 1 HP, 1 HP water pump, just in that one, so 800 watts. So this is the totals of individual loads. Totally put together your total load in watts is 6273 watts or 6.273 kilowatts. Average running load, when the main supply goes off, your average running load, you may not be running all the loads at a time at that particular purpose. It may be 50% or anything. Here the options are given are 75, 100% like this. So take the case of 20%. Why I am taking only 20% is only for the purpose of showing I have taken so much of loads. Water pumps, washing machines, refrigerators, juicers, mixers, many things I have taken. But these things we will not be opting to run them on the battery or inverter, what you call our UPS for our domestic purposes. Even for commercial purpose also, we will be using them very less for backup. So we can also delete them, but just for the example sake I have taken. So only 20% of average running load. Now the backup requirement, just in that you meet with frequent power cut requirements. Nowadays it is not there actually in our state of Telangana. Very less power cuts are there. So just in that you want 1 hour backup. Battery type is home UPS. It is already taken C20, that is C20. C stands for continuous duty. Now calculate. So when you calculate, it is offering you that inverter VA rating is 10,000 VA, battery capacity 60 ampere hours at C20, number of batteries are 15, that is 15 into 60 is 900 ampere hours, 900 ampere hours of C20 batteries. You can use the combination of 100 ampere hours into 9 or likewise 15 into 6, 150 into 6 or 15, 60 into 15 likewise. And our load was around 7 kVA, that is why inverter VA rating it is offering is 10,000 VA. So now we will recalculate this by decreasing the load, like to suit to a domestic purpose. Ceiling fans are only 2, you want only laptop 1, no desktop. Tube lights, okay, only 2 tube lights at the most you will be using. Juicer, mixer, grinder you will not use when it is not there. Refrigerator, okay, just keep it as it is. Nowadays inverter type refrigerators are there. Washing machine, remove it. Geyser, remove it. So only one load 300 watts, this is 158 watts. Light bulb also remove, LED bulbs also remove. Keep one laptop 100, 150. Television keep only, okay, one television 410. Remove music system or You may not run also TV, but keeping it. Water pump, you will not be running any water pump actually on backup. Set-top box is needed for TV, so keep it like that. Then your requirement of total wattage is 749 watts. Average running load, just think that you want it is 75%. Backup requirement 1 hour. Same battery. Now calculate. See, it is suggesting 1400 VA. This particular company is offering 1400 VA UPS. Some other company may not have 1400 VA or 1.4 kVA. It may offer 1.5 kVA, and the suggested battery capacity is 135 Ah. One battery would be sufficient. So normally this is what we encounter for our domestic applications, where we will be using mostly lighting load and fans, TVs, and only fridges when the power supply is off. For such purposes, just depending on our affordability and requirement, the inverter capacity required will be around 1 to 1.5 kVA, and battery capacity required would be around from, depending on the backup time. Actually, backup time also, it may range from 100 ampere hours to 150 ampere hours. So this is what we generally witness when we use UPS and UPS for commercial or even for household equipments, and these are the procedures to estimate the capacity of the UPS and the batteries for backups. So that is the previous topic, offline and online UPS. Then types of batteries for UPS, specifications, estimation, and UPS rating for a given load, estimation of battery rating for a given load also. Time for a simple quiz where for low and short backup periods of UPS, the battery used is low and short backup. It is said as SMF battery, that is sealed maintenance free battery. Selection of battery rating depends upon nature of load, backup period, capital investment. Yes, all of the above. These are the main constraints which have to be followed for selecting the battery rating. And the same things, frequently asked questions. You will be asked to estimate the ratings, list types, write the specifications of UPS batteries. All. So that is all for this session. Thank you.